sometimes, they are actually willing to pay you, but then you negotiate for yourself and they just stop. They're like, okay, sure, go ahead. It's crazy. I'm talking about gambling and betting. You can't ask $10 million and then say, oh, I'm just negotiating. I'm being tough today. Hi everyone, this is GKCS. Today we'll be talking about the negotiation principles that you can use when you are negotiating with a party for a job offer or a contract or any kind of an assignment where you are offering your expertise and your time for money. At the end of this, you will have a set of tools that you can use during a negotiation, which really helps you understand if the negotiation went well or if it went badly and how you can improve the next time. Let us say you have a job offer. The job offer is for 100,000 US dollars, which roughly in rupees is 60 lakh. Okay, so you've already cleared the interviews. You're good enough. Now it's all about negotiation. What can you do as a person to improve your position and to increase this price? That's your goal. You want to get this price as high as possible, and the employer wants to get this price as low as possible. Okay. At this point, you can see that there's a single axis, and what you have is a current offer where both parties want to pull in the opposite direction. So whoever is stronger will win, and you pull hard enough, there'll be some sort of movement up or down. In general, all you can do is say, no, I can do better. Come on, you can give me some more. And the employer will say, no, I can't afford it. Work with us for 100K. That's it. The mentality of this is war or a fight. Basic idea here is, I won't work for you. I won't give you the job. Shut up. You have to give me more. Shut up. You'll work at what I say. So that's really, really bad. Okay. You do not want this in a negotiation. Oh, this person is really aggressive. If they're so aggressive negotiating a job offer, what are they going to do when they're actually in the company? So maybe they're not a team fit, which is, I think, largely why people fear that I'll be perceived as a person who's going to fight inside the company also. So I won't negotiate. And so they quietly accept any offer which comes their way. But what you should do is make it a collaboration. Okay, you're working together, both of you are working together to derive the maximum value from this transaction. This is nothing but a transaction. You are offering your expertise and your time for money. Think of the offer, the situation, as a collaborative situation. You're both trying to benefit. So instead of the single axis, I'm now going to offer you a different way of thinking, which is two axis. One is the potential employee wants to push the offer to the right, like derive as much value as possible. And the employer wants to push the offer up, derive as much value as possible. Okay. And of course, there is a cost associated with it. The employer has to pay and the employee will get money. But what you want is you want to be somewhere over here. Like maximum value derived is here, and for the employee, the maximum value derived is over here. So how can you do that? The first thing you can do is you can prepare alternatives. For any negotiation, if you have multiple buyers, in this case, multiple offers, you're good because you have a baseline. So if you have an offer already of 110K, then this offer doesn't look good anymore. If you have an offer of, let's say, 90K, then this offer is slightly better, right? Very popular in the tech industry is to take this 90K offer, go to the company which offered you this, show them that, listen, I have a 100K offer, why don't you raise this? They raise it to 120. And then you go back to this company and say, listen, I'm getting 120K here, why don't you raise this? And this is called shopping. Whether the ethics of this or the time required to do this is in question. But frankly speaking, it's fine. You're doing everything that a company also does, right? So that's my personal opinion. But having said that, this is one way to do it. It clearly shows that you have multiple offers. So there are multiple buyers. The second thing is, if you can get an appraisal or if your current offer is higher than this, then it makes absolutely no sense. You can push for a higher salary just based on your current offer. So you see that multiple offers, whether it is the current offer or other external offers, really help you. If you don't prepare with this, you are in a much worse position than you would be otherwise. But having said that, in many cases, people interview in just one company because they were not preparing for interviews and they just, get the offer and now they don't know what to do with it. So apart from this baseline, you have a few other things. You have what is the market standard. All right. So if you hear that you have The market standard is 300 to 500K, right, in US dollars. And they are offering you 100K. What's going on here? Why? Why are you doing that? So if you know the market standard and it's much higher than what is being offered, you can very easily negotiate, okay? The other thing is that if the market standard is 500K, do not look at 300 to 500K and say, listen, give me 400K, that's the average of the market. No, go for top of the line. Go for 500K, see what the reaction is. And it's nothing wrong to actually ask for a really high price, okay? Which brings me to my second point, and this is crazy. I see this all the time. Do not negotiate for the other party. This is insane, especially in the tech sector where people are, I guess, very agreeable, or they don't want any kind of conflict and they view conflict, even minor conflict, very negatively. They end up negotiating for the other party. What is this person thinking? Oh yes, okay, I agree. Even before they've said it. Oh, 100K, that's really low. I saw 300K is possible, but it's a startup. Maybe they can't afford it. So let me say 200K. And the other party, half its work is done because you are thinking for it. The moment there is some sort of discomfort in the negotiation, and if it's getting a little stretched out, the potential employee starts regulating the other person's emotions. If they get upset, if they get angry, that's not your problem. This is a negotiation and you can calmly decide on what is the right price. Okay? If they are firm, assertive, that's all right. But if they're getting scared or if they're getting emotional, you don't need to regulate their emotions. You're just putting forward a fair offer according to you. So you regulate your emotions and let them handle their life. Okay? Do not negotiate for the other party. Go for top of the line. And if they can't afford it, they'll give you the offer that they can afford. Sometimes they are willing to pay you, but then you negotiate for yourself and they just stop. They're like, okay, yeah, sure, go ahead. The third thing is, can you get some intangible benefit? For example, your wife is pregnant, or you have some reason why you want to stay home while you're working. So everyone else works from office. Could you get a work from home permit? Try to get that. This seems very obvious, but very often what happens is negotiations go like this. The employee asks the employer, what is the work culture like? And they tell you the work culture and you go like, oh damn, now I have to adhere to this. No one has asked you to adhere to it. This is what they said is normal. You can negotiate with them on that. And you can get that. You can get, let's say, a phone bill paid by the company. These are three things that you have, and that really helps you bring the value of the offer up. Another thing which has to happen is you're not in a war, right? You're not trying to move from every point upwards. That's not the only thing you're trying to do. You're also trying to move horizontally to the right. How do you make the employer happier while getting the maximum benefit? Okay, so ideally you want to go somewhere over here. And if you can't move any more upwards, let's say you're stuck over here, it's to your benefit to push on this side, because it's a collaboration. The sum of these two, the sum of this line and the sum of this line, is to be maximized. Think of it that way. What are they looking for? What exactly do you want? Before joining, I have a 2-month notice period, I have a 1-month notice period. I'm going to convert that into my strength. I'm going to study about topics that you need me to study. It may not be possible, of course. It could be that it's a complex topic, or it could be that it's something specific to their company, so you can't learn it beforehand. But everything around it, the general idea, I can do that. I can maybe talk to your team. I can get to know your requirements better. So the value that you are providing for them is what counts, not the value that you're providing in general. Point number 5 is introduce safety. Safety will be, if this happens, then I get to do this. For a company, the initial offer was 100K. What do they do to give you 500K? You can introduce here something called a bet, okay, or a gamble. It's crazy I'm talking about gambling and betting with the word safety just here. But the idea here is, if I deliver on X, Y, and Z, you can pay me 500K. So these are, let's say, 3 big things that the company is looking for, and they get $1 million if this actually works out. So 500K is like a deal for them, a bargain. If I do only X and Y, you pay me 200K. Like Y is a pretty big deal, but sure, I'll just take 200K. And if I just do X, you know what? Just pay me 100K. Don't even bother. But I am making a bet that I can do Y and Z also. So I'm setting really high targets for myself. I'm a passionate, ambitious person. I believe there's 500K in this. If I miss that, you just pay me either this Or if I miss both targets, then you go over here. Now, there is no safety for the employer here, so to speak, because they were going to pay you 100K anyway. That's going to come to you with X. For a bet to really work, for you to show that I truly believe that this is going to happen, you can say, if I just do X, don't pay me 100K, pay me 90K. Pay me 10K less than you are going to pay me. Because I know that I'm going to hit this at least, X and Y. This is, of course, risky. But if you truly believe that you can do great things and therefore you're worth a lot, you can take away a lot of the concerns that a company has, which is paying upfront and a guaranteed pay despite performance being potentially poor, by just introducing this safety concept of a bet. If you are right, I get 10K lesser than what you're going to pay me. You actually benefit. If I'm right, then you save 500K because like you got $1 million. Amazing. And I get 500K. So both of us win. So it's a win-win situation for you. It's a win and slightly lose situation for me because I'm going to back it up with money. I'm going to back up my words with money. Okay. You don't need to choose this. You can go for 100K if you like. You can say that 100K is anyway pretty low, or you can say that 100K is the baseline. What you're asking me, I'll do that. That's fine. But beyond that, I can do more. Okay. So that's point number 5. You introduce safety with a bet or a gamble. Point number 6. This is again pretty important. It's very similar to point number 2. Do not buy dreams of the future. If the company says, we are not very comfortable right now, why don't you work with us for 3 months, and 3 months later we'll have this discussion again. It's possible. It's still better than not having the discussion ever. But if you're going to have the discussion 3 months later, why don't you set some of the structure of the discussion right now when both of us are free? That 3 months into the work, I won't have much bargaining power. So can we either put that in a contract? How do you want to make this work? At the same time, do not assume that if things go bad, will you be let go first, or will you be, let's say, treated badly in the company because you're charging so much. Don't underestimate yourself. What's going to happen when you join the company is you're going to work really hard, learn new things, and take big decisions. You're going to do great things, which you would anyway, even at 100K. That's your job. So you want to be the best that you possibly can. You want to grow in your career anyway. You either get paid 100K or you get paid $1 million. It's not up to you. Obviously, it's up to what the company can afford. But my point here is that you should take as much as you can while providing value for your employer. You're pushing them on the right also. This is coming from your heart. You want to do the best that you possibly can for them. Okay? If you want any sense of fairness in this, if you believe that, $1 million is just not fair, or the market price is 500K, with what am I going to ask them for $1 million? That's absolutely sensible. If the market value is 500K at best, then 500K is probably where you should stop. Just be reasonable. You can't ask $10 million and then say, oh, I'm just negotiating. I'm being tough today. That won't work. You have to see how much value you are providing and then push them to that value. If you're providing, let's say, 500K value, for them to pay you 500K is rare. Otherwise, what is the benefit for them? They're generating 500K of value by paying 500K. They want to get some benefit out of it. There's multiple factors here. There's risk involved. You might leave anytime and other things. But basically, if you're providing, let's say, 1 million of value, then you're going to get lesser than 1 million value. Do not fear future repercussions as long as you are fair. So I'll put a star over there. If you are fair with the company and you're charging them a value which you believe is what you can generate for them, sure, go ahead. Ask them the price. All right. Again, if you want to alleviate a lot of their concerns, you either show what you can do for them, which is amazing. If they're looking for that and you can provide that, you don't need to even bargain. They'll soften up. So these are some principles. In total, they number to 8. They are roughly broken into just 2 pieces. One is market research. You can get some alternatives. Then you let go of all of this market research, and you focus on what is happening right now. First thing is, do not negotiate for the other party. Do not buy dreams from them for the future. Do not fear future repercussions. All 3 of these are not going to help you, and they're not going to help the company either. Can you get some tangible or intangible benefits which are not in the compensation? Focus on what they're looking for. Can you introduce safety to the offer? That's it. I would suggest you can even make a checklist out of this and just say, did all of this happen? One final thing, when you get an offer, don't get too excited or too scared. That's the reason why I said do not think of war, think of collaboration. You're actually working with them. What could happen is that the employer or the recruiter or the salesperson in any negotiation can fight with you. So they're not looking at it as a collaboration, they're looking at it as war. It's possible. If that happens, what you need to do is not get too worried. If you're desperate, yeah, I mean, you're worried anyway. But if someone tells you that either you take this offer or I'll go and speak to the management and they can refuse the offer, it's most likely a bluff. I've seen this happen multiple times in companies. A person gets an offer of, let's say, 60 lakhs. They go to the recruiter and say, listen, I have a competing offer of 70 lakhs. Would you match that? And they come back and they say, no. They play hardball. Oh, I'm sorry. I really like your company. Even though I'm getting 70 lakhs over there, I know your company culture is far better. I know you're a branded company, so I'll just join you. And it's insane. While at the same time, if you say no, I've seen the same offer. Person said no. They went, they came back, they said, we can't increase it. We'll have to let you go. All right, fine. I'm going by. I'm going to get 1 crore somewhere else as a director of some other company. And then they said, all right, wait. Let me just have another negotiation. And they went over there, they came back, they said, okay, we can make it 72 lakhs. Person said, no, it's 1 crore over there. Then they say, all right, fine, I'll make it 72 lakhs plus some benefits. It's nothing. 72 lakhs plus benefits is 75 lakhs. Then they came back with stock options. Earlier, the stock options were inclusive of that was 72. It became 90 with the stock options. At this point, the person said, fine, the other company, I know the culture is not as good as yours and the brand. So let me go for this. And they've changed the 60 lakh offer, this is roughly 60, 65, to roughly 90 lakhs. It's important not to just focus on, listen, I sure showed you, I strong-armed you into screaming and then saying, all right, 90, 90, 90. No, that's not the point. The point is, this person had done the research, was not worried about what could happen in the future. And when there were layoffs, the person was not let go. So just in case you're thinking, oh my God, I'll be the first person to get laid off. That's not true. And they didn't introduce any safety. But what they did say is, I have worked in this product for a long time. I know what's going to go on. I know I'm going to get promoted. This is what the literal thing was. I'm going to get promoted in a year. You won't be able to stop me. So, why don't you give me pay close to that? And they ended up telling him that, please don't tell other people that you're getting paid this much because everyone else has pay parity. I really hope that you can use the same thing. I'm worried now that at Interview Ready, anybody who's applying is going to use the same principles. But actually, I'm not worried. I know that they will be giving me the value that I need. Thank you so much for this session. I'll see you next time and I wish you the best of luck for your next offer. Bye-bye.